Good morning, Loveland. I'm Mike Meldon, and this is your Loveland Weekly Podcast, brought to you by Gina Dubell-Smith, eXp Realty, and Stone Pillar Farms. Growing up, one of the many things that stood out to me about our state and nation was the fact that the average citizen could petition the government to make real changes. Now that I'm a social studies teacher, I teach civics. And I use this aspect of our government to inspire my students to fight for what they believe in and become more involved in their communities. And as someone now that runs a grassroots environmental nonprofit looking for substantial changes in legislation, our system has allowed me to have hope and to push for things that I believe in. So when I saw that Issue 1 was being discussed, it hit me like a ton of bricks. It stands to take away what I believe to be an essential piece of our government: citizen power and hope. I recently spoke with Jane Gonzalez and Patty Lawrence of Democracy in Action, Ohio, about this very important issue. Today is Monday, July 17th, 2023. Okay, so August 8th is a big day in the voting booths for Ohioans, and it's about Issue 1. So I brought Jane Gonzalez and Patty Lawrence along to discuss what is Issue 1 all about, why are Ohioans leaning in one direction or the other, and what are the implications of this issue. So one of you want to take it. What is Issue 1? What is on the ballot?
This is Jane, and I will start. Issue 1 is basically it's a power grab by our elected officials to keep the regular voters from having an opinion. Currently, if people in Ohio want to have an issue on the ballot, they have to collect signatures in 44 counties, and in the future, they would have to get voting in 88 counties. It has to be 5% of the voters. In the way that this language reads going forward, it's going to be 5% of the voters in all 88 counties. So if only one county out of all the 88 counties in Ohio don't agree with one particular issue, then it won't ever get on the ballot. If for some bizarre reason it actually gets on, it can't pass by 50% but plus one, like every other election will hold, but it's going to have to pass by 60%. Wow. So that means if somebody goes out and they vote and 49% of the people say no, it doesn't matter, it won't pass, right? And then the other thing that they're taking away is currently if you collect enough signatures and turn things into the Board of Elections, there is a cure period, and they will look at those and say, oh, there's a goof. They have 10 days now to go fix either the language on the petition or maybe you're 100 signatures short. There will be no cure period going forward. So it's going to be minority rule. And really, basically, you're not going to be able to ever get anything on the ballot because collecting signatures and getting them cured will be almost impossible.
I see a lot of people that are leaning towards voting yes for this. I was at the parade the other day, and there are a lot of supporters. Why do you think that is? What do you think citizens get out of this vote or think that they're getting out of this?
I think there's a really big disinformation. And people don't understand. They say, well, my club or my whatever has a 60% threshold to change the bylaws. And this is simply not the same because this does two things. Number one, it makes it nearly impossible for the citizens of Ohio to get a ballot initiative on. They've raised the bar. It will raise the bar too high for the citizens to have a voice and lead anything. And the second thing is people, they're saying, well, it's 60%, it's this, it's that. It's not really. And Ohio is very much a 50-50 state. So it really would take away the vote of the majority and give it to the minority. And, I was looking at a banner from a state representative, and it said Issue 1 is pro-gun, pro-parents' rights, and pro-small business. And Issue 1 has absolutely nothing to do with any of those things. Issue 1 is about protecting our gerrymandered state legislature, and it will remain gerrymandered, and we will not have recourse to fix that if issue 1 passes.
It doesn't matter what your issue is. If you want prayer in schools and that's you want to change the law, that's your citizen-led initiative, you're not going to be able to do it. You'll never get it on the ballot. If you want a stricter voter ID, same thing. But what if you want stricter gun laws? None of those issues that aren't being decided by the state house will ever go up for a straight or down, up and down vote, because it'll never make the ballot.
What do you think brought this about? What issue do you think put this on the ballot in the first place? Do you think there was one in particular? Was it women's rights? Was it abortion? Was it gerrymandering? What do you think it was?
It was absolutely women's health care and abortion. And Frank LaRose flat out admitted that. I mean, he flat out said it. And this ballot initiative is actually funded by a Chicago billionaire who kind of bullied our state legislature into doing it. So this section where it talks about protecting our Constitution is truly being funded by outside special interest.
The greatest irony is that they keep saying that's the reason they're doing this, is there's too much outside influence in Ohio and too much dark money floating around. And yet their whole campaign is funded by people on the state who are right lifers.
Yeah. And the whole idea of protecting the Constitution is just frankly offensive, because they're protecting the Constitution from Ohio citizens, Ohio taxpayers, Ohio voters. And that's who they're disenfranchising and taking the vote away from. So the idea that they're protecting the Constitution, they're protecting it from you and from me. And they're handing literally all the power to themselves. And if issue 1 passes, there will be 0 checks and balances on them, because we won't be able to have a citizen-led ballot anymore. So it will give them free reign for, as Jane said, for whatever issue they want.
And isn't it particular too that the voting date is August 8th? Is there a reason for that?
They made a law, passed a law, no August 11th, because they cost anywhere from $20 to $25 million to run. And in the very last one they had last year, only 6 to 7% of the voters showed up.
Okay.
So they said it's a huge waste of the taxpayers' money. And then when they saw how successful the ballot initiative was for women's health, they quickly changed their mind and said, no, we're going to have a special election and make anything that goes forward after August be passed by 60%. So the good news was, for this last round, they hadn't changed the signature gathering portion. It's just going to affect, it has to pass by 60% instead of 50% plus 1. Going forward, nothing will ever get on the ballot again.
Right. Well, and I do think, this August election, the timing was also to prevent the abortion issue from getting on the ballot in November, because if this passes, that will not be on November's ballot. We will not have met the threshold. We've more than met the current threshold, but we cannot make the new proposed threshold. So that will wipe that off the ballot. So that was number 1, why we're having it. And I think they hope that voters are stupid and not paying attention and won't vote in August, or that they will be on vacation or whatever, and that they can just kind of sneak it through.
That's kind of how I know with the people that my circles are. It's just an August vote doesn't feel as important. Anything else we need to add that people need to know as we wrap this up?
Yes.
Tell 5 people.
Yes. Tell your friends. Tell your friends, because as you know, people are unaccustomed to voting in August. Early voting starts. So from now until the Sunday before the election, you can go vote at your county board of elections in person, or request an absentee ballot by mail. You can put it in a drop box. So if you're going to be on vacation or do whatever you want to do, vote now. It will also remove you from the rolls, so nobody will be asking you if you're going to vote or what your voting plan is. So go ahead, vote now, get it over with, and then it's off your plate and you don't have to worry about it. And lastly, if you want to help with this issue, we are happy to have people help. We are door knocking. We will be working the polls. We want to get out the word as much as possible. So we're asking people to share social media posts. We have signs to put in yards. let us know. and because we really need to get the word out.
How can they reach you?
info@democracyinactionohio.com or p.lawrence@fuse.net.
And just to remind people, they've changed the voter ID laws. So if you go to vote, you must take valid ID, and they consider that either a driver's license, a state ID, or your passport, even though your passport doesn't have your address on it.
Looking ahead in Loveland, Love Our Land is looking for 5th to 8th graders to become local environmental leaders. They will have a fun and informational meeting on August 9th at 7 p.m. at the Grail. The meeting will last about an hour and a half. Please RSVP at loveourland.org. And if you have any events you would like me to remind people about, please reach out to mike@lovelandpod.com. Oh, and please get out there and vote no on August 8th. Share this knowledge. We have something truly special here in Loveland. Thank you for listening, and have a great week. This episode was produced and engineered by On Brand Studios and recorded at the Fence Company in Loveland, locally owned and operated since 1996. Please note that the opinions expressed in the podcast do not necessarily represent the views of our sponsors or organization. Thank you.